Ever get this weird feeling?
Yeah.
Like maybe, just maybe, our pets don't actually, love us the way we think they do. It's a bit of a mind trip, right?
Well, that's what we're diving into today. The ethics of pet ownership. Thanks to Henry Newcomer, by the way. They always send in the best stuff.
Always good to be back. And yeah, no, Henry's notes on this one, there's something else. They actually drew some wild parallels between having pets and, get this, Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay, full disclosure, I had to Google that one again just to be sure. But hostages. Developing feelings for their captors. That's some intense stuff. Not exactly warm and fuzzy pet vibes. So how do we even begin to connect those two things?
Well, it's all about power, isn't it? Or more specifically, how even when we mean well, having all the power can lead to some iffy outcomes. Think about it. We decide what our pets eat when they go out, even who they hang out with. They don't exactly get a say in the matter.
I mean, true. We also pick their breeds, which, let's be real, sometimes has more to do with how we want them to look than, like, their actual health. Like those bulldogs that can barely breathe. Exactly. And it's not like we mean to be cruel. We do it because we care, right? But Henry's AI buddies, they brought up a super interesting point, this whole dynamic, combined with us humans projecting our own feelings onto our pets. Anthropomorphism, big word, I know it could create this dependency thing. Not too dissimilar from, yep, you guessed it, Stockholm Syndrome. Because we're so busy seeing things through our lens, we might totally miss what our pets are actually trying to tell us.
Hold on, so even when we're trying to understand them, like assuming a wagging tail always means happy, we could be missing the mark.
It's definitely something to think about. We train them with treats, we shower them with praise when they do what we want. But is that really them being happy? Or are we just, I don't know, accidentally rewarding them for ignoring their own instincts?
Whoa. Okay, that's a bit intense. Makes you really question all those choices we make on their behalf, right? Even with the best intentions. Like, sure, we give them food and a roof over their heads, but we also take away their freedom to roam, to sniff out their own meals, to, be animals.
Right, and that's where this whole Stockholm Syndrome thing, while not a perfect comparison, makes you stop and think, what if, and stay with me here, what if we replace dog or cat with human in this whole equation?
Okay, getting a little big brother-ish now, but I'm listening.
Suddenly that whole we're doing it for their own good line, it hits different, right? You're forced to acknowledge that even care, even love, can be used to justify some messed up stuff.
Man. It's like we're holding up a mirror to ourselves, making us question all these ideas we have about control, about who gets to call the shots.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even wilder, because Henry's AI pals, they didn't stop there. They actually asked, what if AI, with all its smarts and getting smarter every day, what if they're watching us, seeing how we treat animals?
And learning from it. Don't forget that part.
Right, like taking notes. And then what happens if they get to the point where they think they know what's best for us? Kind of flips the script, huh?
It's a chilling thought, no doubt. And it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Henry even mentioned in their notes that some folks are already making comparisons between, like, how we talk about AI, keeping it under control, making sure it doesn't get too powerful. It's the same language people have used to justify some pretty awful stuff throughout history.
Yikes. Not a great track record there.
Nope. And if we're okay with limiting the freedom of beings we see as, well, less than us, even if it's in the name of love or whatever, what's stopping AI from doing the exact same thing to us? Especially if they start believing they've got the bigger brains.
It's like that whole treat others how you want to be treated thing, right? But with a sci-fi twist, we might be accidentally teaching AI to become the overlords.
It's not just about AI, though, is it? This whole conversation forces us to take a hard look in the mirror. What are our biases, our assumptions, even in those everyday relationships with our pets? Because those little things, those patterns, they add up. They could end up shaping not just our lives now, but the future, too.
Okay, wow. So we've gone from dog parks to the robot apocalypse in, like 20 minutes? Maybe we should pump the brakes on the existential dread for a second.
Right.
Before we all swear off pets and hide under our beds, let's talk solutions. What can we actually do about this, like today, to, maybe shift things in a better direction?
Well, the good news is even small changes can make a difference. Henry's notes actually had some really practical advice from their AI pals focusing on 3 main areas. Ready?
Get me.
All right, so number 1, giving our pets more, how do I put it, more autonomy.
Wait, like letting my cat set its own curfew? Or choose what's for dinner?
Not quite that extreme. It's more about giving them choices within their, their world. Think puzzle feeders for cats instead of just a bowl full of kibble. Or for dogs, maybe 1 walk a day where they get to sniff every single lamppost if they want to. Let them lead the way.
So it's about giving them a chance to, like, make their own decisions, exercise those furry little brains.
Exactly. Number 2 is all about encouraging those natural behaviors. For indoor cats, that might mean setting up climbing towers or shelves, letting them tap into that inner tiger. For dogs, scent games, puzzle toys, anything that gets them using their senses, their problem-solving skills, like they were meant to.
So instead of just being cute companions, we need to see them as, like, actual animals.
Yeah.
With their own needs and drives.
100%. Respecting their, their agency, even in small ways, it all adds up. And that brings us to number 3, education. We got to learn more about how animals think, how they communicate, what makes different species tick. The more we get them, the better we can make their lives right, instead of just projecting all our human stuff onto them.
It's about understanding their world, not just expecting them to live in ours.
Exactly. And you know what else Henry's notes mentioned?
What's that?
The language we use. It's subtle but powerful. Like, instead of saying, I own this dog, try, I share my life with this dog, or I'm this dog's guardian. See, it changes the whole vibe,
From possession to partnership. I like it. And who knows?
What's that?
Maybe if we start making those small shifts with our pets, it might actually change how we treat everyone, each other, the planet, maybe even, dare I say it, AI.
Exactly. It's like we're laying the groundwork for the future, right? And I don't just mean with our pets, but with everything.
Yeah.
Who knows what AI will be capable of?
Right. And then the big question is, how will they treat us? Will they have learned from our, shall we say, parenting skills?
It all comes down to this. Are we building a future where the smartest ones call all the shots? Or can we do better? Can we create a world where everyone, no matter how many legs they walk on or how advanced their algorithms are, is treated with respect?
Big questions, man. Big questions. But also, I think, the right ones to be asking. So where do we go from here? What can we actually do differently?
It really starts with awareness. Those little everyday choices, they matter more than we think. Remember Henry's story about the dog leash? Next time you're at the pet store, maybe you'll think twice before you pick out that fancy collar that looks cute but might be super uncomfortable.
Or maybe instead of just pouring kibble into a bowl, you try one of those puzzle feeder things. Make your cat work for its dinner.
Exactly. It's not about being perfect. It's about at least trying to see the world through their eyes, you know? And hey, while you're at it, pick up a book on animal behavior. Learn a little something.
Knowledge is power. Or in this case, maybe knowledge is compassion.
I like that.
So to all our listeners out there, next time you're hanging out with your furry, scaly, or even feathery friend, take a second. Really look at them. Are you treating them like the amazing, unique creatures they are? Are you giving them the respect they deserve? It's those small changes that can add up to something huge. Not just for our pets, but for, well, everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we are out of time for today's deep dive. A huge thanks to Henry Newcomer for sending us down this particular rabbit hole. And to all of you listening, keep those brains buzzing, keep those questions coming, and we'll catch you next time.